All right. Hey, welcome back to Mythborn 24/7 365. So here's the crazy thing. I'm not entirely sure what's happening with my internet connection. It looks beautiful. I got some, it looks like I'm recording sound, which is nice. The picture looks fantastic. But for some weird reason, I can't run anything online for more than a few minutes, and then all of a sudden it goes blank. So I'm going to try and do some real quick stuff. I'm going to try and keep this thing interesting and fast paced. And once I figure it out, we'll maybe have a slightly longer version, on Thursday. So it's Tuesday, guys. I missed everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. We did here. Definitely the weather has been getting better. And today we're going to talk about Mythborn, and of course, always. But also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the video game concept that we just wrote up, which we're hoping tracks well with our various people we're showing it to. And also, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about some cool little tidbits that I've been researching. So I'll let you guys know about that in a little bit. All right, first, housekeeping as usual. I am going to be at the Barnes & Noble, which is on Rockville Pike in Rockville, Maryland, November 10th. It should be a really great day. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you that can make it out there. If you're local and you want to have your copy of Mythborn signed, or you want to pick up a copy, come on down. I will be there. I will be excited to meet you guys, and I will be signing copies and talking Mythborn and meeting fans and just having a fun day. So it should be a pretty fun day. That's one. Number two, the audiobook is out. It's doing really well. You guys have heard about this before, but I really do urge you guys, go check it out. If you get a chance after this, hit up Audible, hit up Amazon. I think it's free if you have a credit from Audible. It might be only like $7 if you get it with the book or something. So it's not super crazy, but honestly, the narrator is amazing. Michael Kramer, he did a great job. And you guys are making it our bestseller so far. I guess the whole world has moved on just a bit, because it seems as though people are less interested in reading books and more interested in listening, or I suspect probably it's true because it's true for me. We're all really busy. We're in the car all the time between trying to get my, kids from school to school, trying to get, all the stuff that needs to get done in a day done. It's almost impossible to not be. If I want to read, I'm probably going to be audio. So, hey, luckily for us, it's a good audiobook. So you can try it out. Let me know what you think. And, we got to start getting the book number 2 done audio pretty soon, too. So I guess you guys will look forward to that. So let's talk about video games. So we had an opportunity to pitch Mythborn as a video game title. I can't say to who yet, but I will tell you that it's a awesome publishing company. And what we had pitched and what we were thinking about is Mythborn. Think about, now remember, there will definitely be a giant RPG. We've talked about this before. I personally, would like to do a survival RPG. So you crash land on the planet, and you have to figure out how to survive, and you have to use nanotechnology, and you have to use your technological know-how to defend yourself from dragons and war elves and things like that. So it should be a pretty cool mishmash of cool tech mixed with amazing magic-like powers and things like that. But that is a 10 million and up budget game. That's it might even be, you might even say that could be easily be a $50 million game. It's a big game. So what do we do initially that's smaller, but that can introduce the world, that has a clean technology solution, that is really fun, really replayable. I personally, I'm a big fan of being able to customize your characters. I'm a big fan of being able to get gear and loot and things like that. So certainly I want those elements in there. I'm a big fan, obviously, of fantasy. You guys know that I was, designer of the first Elder Scrolls Arena way back when. Highly influenced by Ultima Underworld. I loved all those games, Lord British and all the Ultimas. I loved all the growing up, games that I grew up with, like Wizardry and things like that. And certainly the latest stuff out of Bethesda is amazing. I've really liked the stuff that's going on with BioWare, and I've been playing Path of Exile. You guys know that I've been playing that a lot too, and boy, is that a lot of fun. That's a true sort of customization, and I love they let you buy up your customization. You don't buy up your powers, but you can buy up how you look. I think that's huge. I think it's a really cool way of giving people who want to spend money a way to spend money, but keeping the playing field level for those people who don't have money. You just won't look as cool, but you eventually will. So it's cool. So how do I get this game done for a reasonable budget? How do we do it with technology that's not going to create any kind of risk? How do we do it so it's replayable? How do we have customization? And then it occurred to me, now clearly I can't do the entire Mythborn game. That's the big budget game. This has to be a slice of Mythborn, a slice of something cool within the world. And so when I went through that conversational thinking, or I should say that conversation with myself, I realized that one of the things I love in Mythborn are these wing blades. And so in book 2, and I think also in book 3, the elves ride these sort of raptor-like birds. They're really beautiful. Excuse me. Sorry. They have really beautiful wings. They're blue and they're iridescent, and they're really highly lethal, highly fast birds that basically have sickle claws, and they're super sharp beaks. They're basically war birds that these elves ride, and they're called wing blades. And so I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have something like, and this is an old but a goodie, something like Joust. So do you guys remember Joust from the 80s? I think 1982. Joust was a side-scrolling game in which you sat on a bird and you tried to basically kill the other jousters by hitting them, like you hit, and then every now and then, like or I think it was called a rock would come by and it would drop an egg, or you had to hit that. And there are other monster stuff, and there's lava at the bottom, and you had to sort of jump from ledge to ledge without dying. And so this is arena combat, right? We use these birds. Well, I was thinking, why not bring that into the 2019, 2018s, and come up with a really cool Joust style game. Don't know if it's 2D side scrolling or 3D. I suspect that whatever we do, though, it'll be super high res, beautiful birds, beautiful characters, the chance to upgrade your birds to bigger beasts, to have a whole line of beasts that you can sort of pick from all these small wing blades all the way up through small dragons and things like that. Really cool armor and weapons that you pick up as wins, and super high resolution, like I said, so that you take advantage of the monitors that we have today and the graphic cards we have today. What's really cool that I think would be the fact that if we go 2D, not only would it be easier on us from an art standpoint, from an engine rendering standpoint, but it also would be great on mobile devices. And I think, in all honesty, that's where I'm playing most of my games now anyways, mobile devices. I mean, I do have a nice PC setup. Sometime I'll turn the camera around and show it to you. But, one of the things that, I know you guys should see this, though, at the very least. Have a look. Okay, look. So that is the PC that I built. And that is a water-cooled PC right up there. You guys can see. So, at home, I have a PC that'll run, almost anything that I want to run. I have it overclocked. I think I'm pulling in 5 gigahertz, somewhere in there. So, so I have a nice system at home that I built. and by the way, if any of you guys out there are thinking about buying a PC versus building a PC, I would go online and look at how to build a PC, especially at places like Micro Center. You can really build something amazing for probably anywhere from half to 2/3 of the cost of a full, PC built by someone, like Dell or something. Anyways, so although I have a PC and I can play it, I do play most of my games now on mobile. I've always had my phone with me. I always have something with me because I know I love to read. So I think aiming for the mobile market with this first rendition is a smart move. It's got more potential sales out there, more global sales out there. I think if we take what Mythborn is supposed to be all about, which is celebrating all these different cultural, myths and mythology, think of all the creatures we could have in this joust-style gladiatorial flying creature game where you have these, riders and their mounts, both upgradable, both customizable, both with also you can add on weaponry, like special things you earn like lances and swords and armor and shield. Your animal might have a special ability like breathing fire or reflecting attacks. It also can get armor and it also can get upgrades. So I really see it as like almost like two characters that you own, and you have a bevy of different characters and different rider mounts. And then imagine you get to pick like which combo do you want to go into the next arena battle with. That would be really, really fun. And being able to post your win with your creature and you posed in a cool thing would be really, really neat. So I'm pretty excited about this idea, and we wrote it up. I wrote it up, and I'm having some people look at it now just to be sure that I didn't miss anything super obvious. But I'm excited. This could be a really, really cool opportunity for us from a gameplay standpoint. And given the fact that I can explain almost the entirety of the game, I mean, there's obviously a lot of detail when it comes to reward mechanics and scoring and different beasts and different riders and weapons and armor and all those upgrades on it, but they're all, but the concept is pretty understandable. And when you have a concept that's understandable like that, I've just learned in games, when you can pitch something and you can keep it simple, your chance of it getting done is like a billion times better. Because in the end of the day, every feature that pushes that idea forward is probably a good feature to have. And there's so many features that end up being distractions that pull you away from the core design idea that you're trying to build. So, I'll keep you guys appraised on how it goes. I'll let you know, how the interest is in terms of, our pitching it out there. But I think, given sort of my history in games development and having seen a lot of different paths that people have taken when it comes to developing new ideas, I think this is one of those ideas that can start relatively small budget-wise, but it can grow very quickly with both developers building it, but also opening up community mods and communities tools so that, if we're on Steam or something, or we're a mobile site, you guys on your mobile device can, create content potentially that we can let people play with. I'm pretty excited. I will let you know, and I wish every time at the end of one of these things, someone always ends up either pinging me or asking, "What about AR or VR?" Well, AR and VR, they are going to be big deals, I think, in the future. I certainly think that augmented reality and virtual reality are not going anywhere in terms of they're not going to disappear, but they do add a level of complexity to the mix that I'm not entirely sure at this stage is justifiable. So, am I open to doing an AR thing where I can see my wing blade out in the street and I can, walk around it or something with holding through my camera? Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to do that. But, will it move the needle in terms of, fun? I don't know, right? I don't know yet. I think it introduces a lot of issues, and we'll have to figure out what's going on. But hey, there are some really smart minds out there working on problems just like this. Both at I think Microsoft and the HoloLens, and the guys over at Magic Leap and Oculus, and everyone is sort of thinking about it. And I happen to know a few of the people who are developers on various of these systems, and I have nothing but the highest respect for them. So if someone's going to solve it, it's going to be one of these great teams out there, and I'm excited because that means more games for us. Because you never end up playing your own game. You end up playing your friends' games, and they play your games because you built your game. It's taken you months and months and months, and the last thing you want to do at the end of the day is play the game that you spent all this time fixing bugs in. Now that's not true. I play my games too. But all right. So let me know what you think of that. Post your comments. Please hit subscribe. Let me know what's going on with you guys out there. I'm pretty excited. I'm also really excited that it doesn't seem like my internet connection died out on me. Again, I'm taping in two places. I have this camera here, and I have this camera here, camera 1, camera 2. And so you'll probably see this go up live with no edits, and then shortly thereafter I may replace the live feed with a combined 2-camera edit that also gets rid of some of the ums so that I don't have to pay my son as much, and maybe a yawn or two. It's tough during the afternoon recordings right after lunch, because you always hit with that 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock lunch fatigue. I'm really, really excited about the game idea, folks. I did want to get into a cool mystery, but I realize now that it will take me at least this long to talk about. So what I'd like to do instead is just save that for Thursday. Once again, I will be at the Barnes & Noble November 10th all day. I believe November 10th is a Saturday, and it will be on Rockville Pike in Rockville, Maryland, and I will be signing my book and talking to fans, and I hope you guys can make it down who are local, and I hope I can get you guys a signed book. And, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the books. I wrote another chapter last night on book 4. It's really nearing the end now. So now I just have to do a little bit of tying together loose ends. I keep a record of like all the threads I open. I keep a little log when I open a thread. And then I go back through that log, and it says, like when I'm writing, I'll just put a note saying, on this page I opened a thread. And then when I go back through the novel in Word, this is a technique for you guys, if any of you are writers out there and you care. What I do is I add these comments, and then when I'm finished, I go back and I start going down through the comments, and everywhere where I have closed a thread, I've also added a comment saying a thread closed, this thread was about blah, 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 and it closed, with this result. Wherever I have done that, I will, those 2 threads are linked, and I'll just basically turn them a different color. I don't get rid of them right away, because I want to remember all the threads that I have open and closed when I'm trying to write some things, and also when I'm updating the glossary. So I'll color code them as finished, and then I go through and I do that all the way through, and then I go back and I see what I didn't close because of a color change. And if I didn't close it, then I go back and I reread that thread, and I figure out where I can weave in a satisfactory closure to that opening. What's been surprising to me about book 4 has been just how much of the book is about Alien Deft and her early days right after getting cursed by Duncan, her survival of that curse, and then what brought her to the point where she's now, in the service of Lilith, her enemy or arch enemy. Remember, she was a knight and a mage hunter, dedicated to hunting the possessed and the heiress. And somehow through that process, after getting cursed by Duncan, we see her again in book 2 as, a right-hand lackey of Lilith, but also a hated lackey. Lilith is torturing her, ultimately torturing her for her choices she made against the heiress by now enslaving her and basically having her help the heiress as the worst kind of irony that she can inflict upon this ex-knight and mage hunter. And but we don't know between the time of her getting the curse by Duncan and seeing her, with Lilith. We don't know anything about that time in between. And book 4 actually goes through a lot of that. It's really interesting. It's got a great little quest that she goes on. She's looking for a cure to the curse. She uncovers the lost libraries of Thoth, and very similar to the legends we have of the Library of Alexandria. And it's a neat kind of like it's a neat fleshing out of the world. It adds some cool characters I think you'll like. They don't necessarily have a great outcome, but we like them when they're around. And also it really introduces Lilith in an interesting way, and the Phoenix, which is something that is sort of a counterpart to Lilith, and it also obviously introduces alien Death in her travel. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I will start pretty soon releasing small little excerpts just to sort of get people ready for book 4, and I'll be doing that on Facebook and on my website. So stay tuned for that. And I hope I see you guys November 10th. I will certainly see you Thursday. Leave me your comments. Click subscribe. Maybe it's over here. I always do this. I think it's over here. Click subscribe. Join our YouTube channel. We love you guys. And it was great. Thank you. Take care. I will say stop here. And I'll say see you later here.